Okay, so it's Linda Blake with Coffee and Convo, Hot Steps Magazine, and we have as our guest today Rahiem, a.k.a. Todd Williams, and he's best known as Rahiem of the Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 group or crew. And we also have our editor-in-chief, Mike Theory, here. So, hi, you guys. How you doing?
Hey, how are you, Linda?
So, Rahiem, tell us a little bit about you. We have a host of questions for you that we'll be shooting at you, but want to know a little bit about you, in terms of how you came up with the name Rahiem. I kind of know, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, there is a gentleman by the name of Rahiem LeBlanc, and he's the lead singer of a legendary R&B group called GQ that made a few hits, Disco Nights, Sitting in the Park, and they used to do block parties around my block when I was just becoming a teenager, and I used to be like always in the front of the ropes. They used to have a section roped off outside, and I'd be in the front, practically in Rahiem LeBlanc's mouth, singing all of the words to the songs that they'd be singing because I knew the words, whatever. And so he saw that, I had a little talent for singing, and I was eager to learn, and I was picking up little tricks of his. So he took me under his wing and kind of tutored me, gave me a little instruction in music theory and some vocal lessons, and then I began joining groups from my neighborhood, and we'd be in local talent shows and what have you. And then
nice.
I did that. Yeah, I did that shortly before I joined my first rap group.
Okay, so where did you pick up the Ladies Dream part of? Because, I'm a big fan, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So Ladies Dream part of your name, or that's what you were pinned as. Where did that come from?
Well, the Ladies Dream thing, two things helped that to come to fruition. The very reason why I started rapping in the first place was there's a guy named Joe Goodwin who was in school with me. We went to high school, Harry S. Truman High School in the Bronx up in Cohasset.
Okay, know where that is, yeah.
Yep. We went to that school, and Joe was, I think, maybe a sophomore when I got into school, and he used to walk the hallways and say these rhymes, and all the girls in the school would follow him everywhere he went. And I was like, wow, I need to learn how to say some rhymes because I need all the girls in the school following me everywhere I go. So,
right.
So I started writing rhymes, and when I came up with the name Rahiem, there are a few words or whatever that make sense, that rhyme with the name Rahiem, but no slogan that I came up with for the name Rahiem stuck out like Rahiem and all the ladies' dreams. And I mean, to this very day, no matter how long ago I came up with the slogan, every relationship that I've ever been in, the women always refer to, oh, so you Rahiem in all the ladies' dreams, huh?
Yes.
And I'm like,
sticks in my mind. That is very memorable. I was able to remember that too.
Wow.
One sidebar question I want to ask you.
Sure.
Did you used to live in Lambert?
I did, yes.
I knew it because, I'm from the Bronx too, and my favorite aunt and my cousins, they lived there, and I always was in Lambert, and they used to always say that Rahiem lived, like they would always point to your building. I'm like, y'all lying. No, he doesn't. What would be, what guidance would you give to a younger version of yourself growing up in the Bronx today?
What guidance?
Although I know you have migrated to ATL, but yeah.
Right. Well, not specifically. Like I'm in Stone Mountain, which is
okay. Yeah, I know where that
40
is.
minutes. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to do ATL because it was a little nervous for me, but I was like, you know.
Mike is just, he came up here from ATL. He was living down there for quite a bit of time, and his family's down there, so.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Could you ask that question once again, please?
Yes. So what guidance would you give to a younger version of yourself growing up in the Bronx today, if it was today?
Right.
What would you give advice to that person? Who are you?
Well, if they were pursuant of, you know, a career in the music industry, you know, as per what you're suggesting, if it were a younger version of me, then that would mean, you know, they would be desirous of being an artist. So for all of the aspiring artists out there, I would say that one thing that I would strongly advise is to educate yourself about the music business. This is a business first. And when you treat it like anything other than what it is, which is a business, then you are starting out in a position of, you know, you're taking your leverage away, basically. So you want to treat it like it's a business, and you have to, when I say educate yourself, it behooves you to educate yourself about every nuance of the business as it pertains to what you do, because then you won't be ignorant to, you know, how you get paid, what you're supposed to get paid, when you're supposed to get paid, who pays you. Like, it all pertains and all goes back to money at the end of the day, because, you know, these major conglomerates that, you know, provide the entertainment that we see and hear every day, they're making billions and billions of dollars off of the backs of the artists. Yeah, and not that they don't do their, you know, their job. They hold up their end of the bargain, but the quantity or the percentage in which they take of the pie is just much more than is actually necessary, especially at this particular juncture of the game, seeing as though digital digital format, yes, is the format in which we receive our music entertainment nowadays. They've taken away the tangibility of going in a record shop and buying a physical record or CD and having something tangible to walk away with. So they've essentially devalued the music by doing that, by taking away the tangibility.
Yes, I think that's so true, and it really lends itself to the fact that a lot of artists got hip on being, going into the music industry as an independent artist, where they control most of their masters or all of them, and they'll be able to control their destiny and their finances.
Exactly.
And so I think that's why they're dumbing it down and they're really devaluing it, like you said, because of that reason.
Absolutely.
And that leads me into, my next question about how do you feel about the state of hip-hop today in terms of, old school, new school, and the music itself in terms of the music industry as a whole?
Well, a lot of people, a lot of millennials would attribute what I'm saying to someone, from my era of hip-hop being disgruntled. But I'm not upset or angry at all at where I am at my current station in life as it pertains to the hip-hop culture. So I'm saying this actually out of love and hopes that we just moving forward can do better. But the reality is that we don't control our culture. We haven't controlled our culture for quite some time. Once corporate anybody embraces culture, which is corporate America's job, it's their job to embrace culture, assimilate it, repackage it, and sell it back to us in a way that they can understand and benefit from it monetarily. So as a result of that, And since we're not in control of our culture, in 1990, a new brand of rap music was introduced. And that new brand of rap music in 1990 was called gangster rap. And gangster rap has been the flagship brand of rap music since 1990 to the present. And so it's essentially changed the face of hip-hop. And it changed the perception of the most influential demographics of the population that listen to it, which are the adolescents. And so in 1990, a company called Corrections Corporations of America had closed-door meetings with top record company executives, and they had to sign non-disclosure agreements, and they planned to change the face of hip-hop forever. And so Corrections Corporations of America is the largest independent facilitator of privately owned penitentiaries in this country, and they've made deals with 48 states in this country to have a privately owned penitentiary erected in that respective state on the condition that that state or each state could maintain a 90% incarceration rate. So here's the close. If every day of your young, impressionable life you were subjected to your favorite artist who's probably in your ear more hours a day than your parent and your teacher, and they're telling you that the way to their success was to stand on the corner and sell drugs and, excuse my language, shoot niggas and F hoes, then, that's, and then you hear this perpetually, like, radio stations play this in rotation. So that would mean that you're being programmed, and I would guess that that's the reason why they call the people who are responsible for the music that we hear every day on the radio, they're called program directors. So we're being programmed, and, it's called the power of suggestion.